Today on the news and why it matters, a shocking new poll out shows the majority of Americans want Trump's impeachment. Also, the NBA, super duper brave about taking a stand on things. Oh, except when it comes to Hong Kong and China. Got a lot coming up. Starts right now. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez, today joined by Stu Burgier. Should I say Mr. Stu Burgier?
Yes.
Mr. Formerly known as Mr. Stu Burgier. Mr. Jason Buttrell.
Mr. You got it right.
Chief researcher of the Glenn Beck radio program. And Mr. Jeremy Dice.
Esquire.
Esquire. That's right, Esquire. From First Liberty.
We just went into Bill and Ted's there.
Got a lot.
The cultural reference.
Yes.
Got a lot. Well, I thought it was going to be Ernest. I'm shocked it wasn't Ernest.
Something beyond Ernest, but just barely.
Got a lot to get into. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So Jason knows about how well Relief Factor works because A, Jason is very, very old, but also Jason was in the military where he did really, really bad things to his joints.
Yeah, really, I can't stress this enough. If you're in the military and you haven't tried this, you've got to try this. You carry the packs around, 100 pounds in your pack. You run every single day. It's horrible on your knees, your back. A lot of people right now have these problems just for different reasons, but for military people especially. But I couldn't run every day. And I think you could see, Sarah, that I was, kind of getting a little,
I didn't want to say anything.
That was setting in. Yeah. But I started taking Relief Factor. I think it only took me a little over a week, and I was already feeling tons better. I was able to get back to my 3 miles a day. It's awesome. Can't say enough about it.
Are you really still? You're doing 3 miles a day now?
Well, he stopped it
couldn't
for
really
other
tell.
reasons since.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but not because of the pain. Shut up, Stu.
Seriously, though, if you can get out of pain, you're just living in constant pain, but you can get out of pain, it is truly life-changing when you do. You got to try Relief Factor. Get the 3-week quick start pack. It's $19.95, and the majority of people who try it, they go on to keep ordering more. It's working. It can work for you. You can be out of pain. Go to relieffactor.com, or you can call 800-500-8384 if you're one of the few people who still uses phones for its original purpose, like calling people. Relieffactor.com. So there's a new poll that was released yesterday by Fox News, of all places, that shows that just more than half of all registered voters support President Trump's impeachment and removal from office. It's 51% to 43% that Trump should be impeached and removed. 4% said that he should be impeached but not removed from office, and 40% said he should not be impeached at all. Obviously, there was a big partisan divide, but it's interesting that at the same time that we are hearing things like at theblaze.com right now, there's an article up that says Ukraine was already planning to reopen the investigation into Burisma before President Trump ever had his phone call with the president of Ukraine.
How far? Did they say how far before?
I
mentioned that in the article? Yeah,
I can look it up.
I believe back in February.
February, okay. That's still going to be after some of the initial meetings, so I don't know if that's going to, persuade the left at all on that one.
But I mean, what is the smoking gun here that the majority of Americans are seeing that are leading them to believe that Trump should be impeached?
Yeah, I mean,
high crime.
Right.
See, we've got the transcript.
Yeah.
Is it the media bias? Is it the media coverage of this?
Yeah, I mean, look, the number hasn't been zero this entire time. We have to take it in context. I don't know what the last Fox News poll was. By the way, Fox News is a very good pollster. It's not like there are some partisan polls that show Trump always has an advantage on and stuff. That's not Fox News. Fox News is actually one of the highest rated pollsters in the business. Yeah. So, higher rated than CNN, for example. But it is one of those things. It's probably, the number was 30% before anything about Ukraine was even mentioned.
Right.
And we're very early in this. It's an interesting way these things tend to flow, which is when there's a new allegation, it's new in people's minds. They tend to jump towards, yeah, he needs to be held responsible for that. And as the facts sort of sift out, people say, oh, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought.
Feels like it should be the opposite.
Well, yeah,
Right?
I
Like,
mean,
shouldn't we wait before the facts come out to say, yes, he should be impeached?
I think so. However, the other way it goes is there is a lot of new bad things that come out and it increases, right? So, this is a starting point. This is, though, I will say, historically high. It's higher than Nixon at a similar point. It's higher than Clinton at a similar point. I mean, and that's a lot has to do with just Trump being divisive, right? Like the people who don't like him already don't like him. They hate him so much they want to get him impeached for, if he had, milk with his cereal this morning.
How much do you think, though, is just, I'm so sick of hearing about it, make it all go away, right? We just heard this steady drumbeat since, the day he was inaugurated, maybe weeks before he was inaugurated, that he has to be impeached. And we're talking about being impeached. Have they even filed the articles?
Nope.
Has there even been a motion on all that?
Nope.
So the people are just worn out about it, saying, hey, go away. Let me just live my life. I just want to go to the Little League game without, someone looking at me with a slant eye when I have a MAGA hat on or something like that. I mean, come on. They're just tired of getting that kind of stuff all over the place. And there's got to be at least a handicap factor inside that 51% somehow that just has people saying, okay, I'm done, just go away.
Even that, though, I feel like, Jason, would be kind of a cowardly way to approach it as a regular American citizen, just to say, okay, impeachment's a big deal, right? Just to say, okay, whether or not he did it, just make it go away and impeach the guy.
Yeah, well, I think, I think the responsible way to handle it would be kind of like how I am right now. Like, should he be?
Really?
Oh, you're the responsible.
Like how I've been handling it.
Letting us know.
Imitate Jason, everybody. Run 3 miles a day.
It's kind of a big deal.
No, when I say that, and I'll probably take a hit for saying this, but I don't know if he should be impeached at this point.
Right.
I don't know. That there is one fact of the matter in this case. Did he mention Biden's name at all? And did he want them to investigate Biden? Yeah, he said that. There's no getting around that. He did say that. Now, is that an impeachable offense? Or is there more context to this story that would absolve him from that? I have no idea. That's what the inquiry's for. Do I think the inquiry is being done in bad faith? Yeah, I actually do.
100%.
It's 100% being done in bad faith. So I think a lot of people are conflicted about it. What's surprising to me is, it seemed before, like as you saw other polls where people were saying that the majority of the country said, well, look, we don't want to go through this impeachment thing. We don't. I feel like that was just like a couple weeks ago or something like that. So with this poll saying that now, that seems to indicate a pretty big shift. I just don't know what shifted it, all the way to, because has anything new come out since? I haven't seen really anything new to.
There's been some reporting, and feel like the texts came out, and but those still haven't been explained. There was the calls potentially to China. He said it in public, right? I think though, like people, if you look at this, there's about 30 to 35%. The Democrats that are in there that are not going to ever change their mind on Trump, that are going to be for impeachment no matter what at this point. So the change from 35 to 51 is significant. I'm not saying it's not. It is, but it's a new allegation. People are just learning about it, and I think you're right, Jason. You got to take time. If something comes down the road that I think is more significant than what we've heard, I think everyone would be open to impeachment if he really did something. But as the information we have right now, to me, it doesn't rise to that level, particularly considering we all have an impeachment vote coming up right around the corner. It's right around the corner. We can all figure it out whether we want to do it or not. So
let's all be as responsible as Jason, is what you're saying.
well,
If only.
If only. The world would be a better place.
Jason, while we have you on the program, I do want to get your thoughts on what's going on in Syria and Trump's decision to.
You're just trying to get me in trouble today.
Viewers. It's what I do best. So.
I am, So the Operation Peace Spring launched a couple days ago.
We're getting really bad at naming these things.
Yeah,
Spring?
it's bad.
So Peace Spring.
Yeah.
If you say it really fast, though, it just sounds like Peace Spring. Which is not good planning on their part.
Erdogan just about to have you banned from all social media and anything inside Turkey for saying that.
Screw you, Erdogan.
But yeah, so it launched. What they want to do is, I've been calling it Ottoman Spring, pretty much, or new Ottoman Empire, really, is what it should be. Because what I think they want to reclaim territory that they've lost in the past. There's no guarantee that they're going to leave, but they have invaded northern Syria. They're going after the Kurds. They stand nothing really to gain from this. They're not under threat right now as things are right now. That's one of the biggest things right now, and why I think most European nations are coming out against them. But I was very, very against what the president did. I know a lot of people are arguing, smart people on both sides are arguing that it's good that we just got out of there, but I think it's absolutely, utterly ridiculous. Some people have come out ridiculously trying to speak for veterans, saying that they agree with them or whatever. That's absolutely insane. I can't think of any veteran that I know currently or that are active, or any veteran that's out now, that would say, I wouldn't mind being deployed somewhere, fighting side by side with somebody, and then getting friends with them. Guaranteed, the Special Forces, the 1,000 soldiers that we have there now are friends with the people that they're fighting with. And now they're told to just wave goodbye and say, sorry, man, we're leaving you. No, we told you we never do this again. I guarantee you they're furious.
And I've definitely seen reports of many that are. I'm sure there's a split at some level.
Right, there are
but,
some.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Now, let me say this. It's not a good idea for the United States to be overextended in the world. It's not a good idea for us to be the world policeman. I'm a libertarian at heart.
So
I'm
you're
a
not
little bit
saying,
more hawkish on
so
military.
you were not saying earlier it's ridiculous that they want to leave the area.
Right.
You just disagree with the method.
The way it was done, it should not have been done now. There should be an exit strategy, but it should not be. I keep using the example. There's a difference between ripping a Band-Aid off, and ripping off half your arm because it's still, messed up, and doing it gradually. We should have done this gradually. I think they did have a plan on this. It was complicated. Don't get me wrong. There's no white or black. It's all gray in this area. It's all gray, except for like ISIS, or Islamist terrorists. And maybe Erdogan, but anyway. But there's very shades of gray on this. Everyone that's involved, none of them are great people. None of them are very, very bad people. It's very, very complicated. But the 1,000 soldiers that are there and I guess are leaving, if you take them out now, and a larger war does erupt from this, you're going to look at tens of thousands more U.S. troops possibly returning in a few months' time, a year's time, whenever. But mark my words, it will happen. You now have Turkey and Iran headed for a collision course. What happens if in Iran, there was a news report that Iran was doing border exercises on their border with Turkey, just as kind of like a tip of the hat, so where, just kind of saying, don't mess with our Shiite militias that are in there. Whatever happens if Turkey invokes Article 5? Like, no one's even talking about that. When we're talking about a handful of soldiers keeping us from a much larger war, these are the types of things I'm talking about, that we will be called to actually intervene. Global type major regional battles that we will have to get into. So anyway, I think it was done very, very badly.
Yeah. Jeremy, what are your thoughts?
I agree, and I'm sorry to drive more viewers away and make them more upset on this, but
I mean, come on, guys.
there's definitely a lot
me a bone.
lot of people though are on this side of it. This is
yeah.
not,
Look, I think from just a different perspective, I did not go through the military route, but I'm looking at this from a couple different perspectives. One, politically, it was a bad move by the president. He didn't have to do this. There was another area he could have pulled out, and people would have gone, yeah, it probably makes sense. Go down to Afghanistan. We've been there for a long time. What gain are we getting? I don't know. Let's bring a whole bunch of guys back. I think people would have accepted that a lot more easily. But you also have had a lot of success on the world stage with the emphasis that the State Department has placed on the persecuted church, on religious freedom abroad, and all that kind of stuff. And here you are going after the Kurdish people, or leaving them high and dry now, as the Kurdish people who have been that persecuted Christian minority in Iraq and in that area of the world. They were the people that Saddam Hussein, going way back there, he used to go after these guys all the time. And they were some of our staunchest allies to take down that regime. And now it has the optics, at the very least, of just kind of pushing them to the front of the battle and then walking away. And I just don't think that was a well thought out strategy at all. What were we? I mean, what we have? A couple thousand soldiers there, maybe.
We had 2,000 a couple months ago. We only had 1,000 there now.
I mean, that is in the grand scope of our military.
As far as what's actually being affected with this. It's only like 150
Yeah.
that are actually being moved as part of this. They're being moved to another, and we keep saying, like, we got to get out of these countries because we don't have these wars. Well, they're moving them to just other parts of Syria.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even leaving Syria, many of them. Some of them are going into Iraq.
Some deal must have been cut with Erdogan. I have
Yeah.
no idea what it is. I want more context on this.
And I don't like that
really do.
element of it either as well. I don't trust that guy further than I can.
Well, yeah, that's why it's okay.
So,
Deals
but
being made with
I mean,
Erdogan.
to go back to this whole impeachment thing and all the other kind of things that are broiling around the president right now, he's got a great opportunity to remove the cameras to that side for a good reason.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, here's what we've been doing, and getting a lot of good political coverage out of this whole thing for the State Department's ministerials on religious freedom, Pompeo's actions around the world on the persecuted church. We're going to stand with these. He could have actually moved the cameras to look at the good stuff that they were doing, and instead he's moved the cameras back to himself again And I think this is a strategic error by the president here. He's done so many good things on the foreign policy front. In other words, otherwise, this was a misstep.
Stu?
And you know, a lot of these arguments sound really familiar, and they sound familiar because we made them to the Obama administration in 2014 and said, don't pull all these troops out or something bad will happen, and then ISIS happened, right? Like this is, we've been down this road. These are not good ideas, and I think a lot of times we get locked into this thought, and I am just as much for, you know, not having as much of a world's policeman idea. I don't think that's a great way to run a country. And I do tend to lean more libertarian than I used to on such things. However, like we keep looking at like, well, we're in Syria. Well, what does that mean? We have guys who are advising other people who are fighting. We have about 150 people who are affected in this region, most of which are not on the front lines. You know, they are basically standing there as a buffer so that Turkey doesn't attack. They're not dying. They're not getting, no U.S. troop has been killed by someone from Turkey. This isn't even happening. They're basically standing there as a buffer to say to Erdogan, don't come in here. And honestly, I would even argue that if he had pulled out everyone except one troop, he put one person, one U.S. soldier in there with these guys, they wouldn't have come in.
Oh, you're right.
In fact, even if we had no troops in there and we said don't come in, they're probably not still coming in, which makes me think that Trump, for whatever reason, thinks this is a good idea or is trading something for it.
Trading something.
Yeah, and I don't know what he's trading it for it. I don't know what would be of value to let down an ally like this. It doesn't make me feel good. But we have this concept of thinking like, okay, well, here are the number of countries we're in, and here's how long we've been there. Those aren't the only metrics. Like, if we had one troop in the middle of this region till the end of time, and we just kept rotating them in and out every couple of weeks to give them a break, would that be the worst thing in the world? Would that mean that we're the global policeman? No, but if it prevents mass casualties of our allies, I mean, it would be worth it. So I think we have to kind of rethink the way that we go down these roads. And I don't know what he traded this for. I hope it was something good, because I don't understand it right now.
Yeah. All great points. Back in a minute.
I mean, Jason Owens, they were great. And they were like,
I know there are a lot of small business owners out there, entrepreneurs. If you are one of many of those people and you are not using Oracle's NetSuite, you're making a giant mistake. You have to know your numbers, right? When you want to grow your business. You got to know the numbers. You got to know how many sales calls you're doing. You got to have your accounting. And the problem is that you have your accounting system over here, and then you have your sales system over here, and then you have your inventory over here, and these systems are not connecting with each other. They're not working together, and you're spending way too much time accounting for all of these things. You've got too many resources, and it's hurting your bottom line. All right, you got to get NetSuite by Oracle. It is the business management software. It handles every single aspect of your business in a really easy-to-use cloud platform. It's giving you the visibility and control you need to actually grow and make that money, because that's what it's about, right? You save time, money, and unneeded headaches by managing sales, finance and accounting, orders, and HR instantly. You can do it on your desktop or your phone. NetSuite is the world's #1 cloud business system. Right now, NetSuite is offering you a really valuable insights with a free guide. It's called 7 Key Strategies to Grow Your Profits. You can go get it at netsuite.com/why. That is netsuite.com/why to download this free guide, 7 Key Strategies to Grow Your Profits. I mean, come on, there's no reason not to go there. I mean, unless you hate making money, which if you do, you're a really bad business owner. netsuite.com/why. Want to talk about what's still going on in the NBA. I know yesterday we talked about the protesters who were at the Philadelphia 76ers game, what a coincidence, who were escorted out because they had signs that said Free Hong Kong. Well, they were not the only ones. Turns out there is a movement growing on both sides. So where was this one? It was in Washington. And in the Capital One Arena, there were more protesters who were being told by security not to hold their Free Hong Kong signs. Watch.
Like this. So you want to actually take that down? So I'll take that. Or you guys want to put it away, or I can take it? You want to put it away?
But what was the reasoning? What's the reason?
So
I understand you're doing your job, sir. Totally.
Just Capital One Arena. we understand, we respect your freedom of speech. We are just personally we don't have any stance on it, and so we're just asking no any signage related to that being in here tonight.
And so, and under what was the?
So I just explained it, and that's what it is.
Under the sign standard, or?
And it's also outside of our size standard for the sign. So okay. Can I ask you guys? I'm gonna have to take it, or you can toss it out. Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
During the national anthem of all times.
We respect your freedom of speech, so we're going to take your speech.
Yeah.
Right? I really hope they took down every single sign, regardless of what was written on it. I mean, if it had said, go whoever's playing, go. What are they called now?
It used to be the Bullets
anymore. Yeah, the Capitals. No, it's the hockey.
They took down their freedom of speech of their own name.
It's the Wizards.
Yeah, the Wizards. That's who it is. Yeah. So they better have taken down every single sign, because otherwise that is a real big problem that they just opened themselves up to. If some enterprising First Amendment attorney would want to get hold of that.
I don't know if anyone will hear about it.
Ideally it was for a religious reason. That would be even better, and those guys could give a call to something like firstliberty.org, and perhaps that would be something we would want to look at a little bit more, because that's just enforcing a viewpoint that they disagree with, or that they want to have enforced, rather than allowing multiple viewpoints to be out there. Again, if you're picking and choosing the viewpoints that you want, that's the problem. If you say, okay, nobody can talk, well, they can kind of do that. But
well, it is a private venue, though, right? I mean, do they have to?
Is it though? Isn't that a city-run venue?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
That would be the right analysis to make on that. However, I think it is at least a public-private partnership that's going on there, and I think there'd be enough government entity for us to be able to put some hooks into them.
But the ridiculous thing is they're doing it on pushback from the Chinese Communist Party,
right?
Which sounds absolutely insane. Back in the day, we would have just given a big middle finger if a communist government would have told us what to do. Give me a break.
You have Nike in China that has removed the Houston Rockets merchandise from their stores. What happened to believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything?
Right.
What happened to that?
Exactly. So that came out. So there's that, and then also Apple. Apple got hit for taking down, what was that app that the Hong Kong protesters were using to track where the police were? I mean, I love how, and I said this before, but I love the hypocrisy of how this is it's just coming out now, and they're just kind of focusing on the NBA. But really, the reason why China became such a big deal is because this has been going on for 30 years. 30 years. They've been strong-arming American businessmen, and they've been just throwing out their values, and if they even have anything to say on human rights whatsoever, they threw it out because they cared about the market being open and getting access to the market in China. Yeah. That's it. So now this is just coming out now. Well, welcome to what's been going on over the past 3 decades.
Yeah, Stu, last word.
I'll agree, obviously, with you guys on the concepts here, and I do hesitate to give a little bit of a pushback here. I just don't want another sport ruined by a political debate. I get that this is so obvious that China has a terrible human rights record.
Hasn't this particular sport already been ruined by that very thing?
Well, yes, they're always complaining about President Trump.
We're going to go play in Charlotte because we're going to support that ordinance over there.
But I oppose
communist China that is imprisoning everyone. Oh no, let's bow at their feet.
I'm trying to be, but I mean, as a sports fan, I'm trying to be consistent here. I don't want every freaking sport broadcast I watch to be about Colin Kaepernick or gay marriage or bathroom use in North Carolina or the policy of China. I would go to sports because I want to watch sports. Mm-hmm. Look, it's a Chinese basketball team playing. It's hard to avoid it there. But I hope that not every game I go to this year is all signs from either side supporting it. Like sports, we can have any escape. Can we have any escape?
No, but they started it first. Right back in a minute.
I guess we just got to take a cue from Ellen and George. Ellen DeGeneres and George Bush. No.
Giveaway alert going on over here. So with the new shop that you can find at shop.theblaze.com, with that comes an awesome giveaway. And here's what you have to do if you want to be entered to win. You can win. You can pick what you want to win. If you don't want News and Why It Matters merch, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't, you can pick whatever is in the store, any t-shirt, mug, or hat. All you have to do is go to wherever you get your podcasts, go to iTunes, go to Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, go subscribe, okay? Rate us 5 stars. I don't want you rating us 1 star and then entering to win in this giveaway. You got to rate us 5 stars, subscribe to the podcast, take a screenshot of that, Send it to me on social media at Sarah Gonzalez TX, preferably Twitter. Send it to me. We will enter you in to win. You could be one of several people who will get they'll get their pick. Okay, you can pick Glenn's "Just Shut Up" shirt if you want, which I personally really want. You can pick Chad Prather stuff. Whatever you want, you will be entered to win. All you got to do is go subscribe and rate, and tell your friends to do it too. Well, or maybe not, because then it'll lessen your chances of winning.